Hey there, welcome. My name's Johnny. The device I'm riding, it's called an electric unicycle. It saved me from alcoholism and depression. I started this channel in the hopes of spreading this to other people who it may help as well. Like and subscribe to help me on my mission.
Hey you guys, what's going on? It's your boy Johnny Go Vroom. Sorry about leaving you for the end of last week. There's just been so much stuff. It's honestly not that I didn't have anything to talk about. I just had way too much to talk about. We've got wheels that are arriving DOA on both sides of the field. We've got people grabbing other people's likenesses and just using them like crazy. It looks like people are riding the ever-loving Schlotzkys out of other grown man genitalias out here in the EUC space. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. My boy slobbing all over the other dude. Crazy like. And I'll be honest, normally it's not a problem. I just run right in there and hop on it and just start making videos willy-nilly, but it's really easy to frame all that stuff in a negative light, man. And I just, honestly, guys, I'm trying to keep my glow about me. I'm trying to keep my positivity about me and whatnot. So we'll address things as we can, but we're not going to address it in the lowest hanging fruit manner where we simply take whatever volatile situation that we can grab a hold of and freaking run it to the moon. We're just not going to do that over here on the Johnny Go Vroom channel. If it's not constructive, we're going to leave it alone. That's just how it is over here. This is a video I could have made for months and months and years, but it just seems to be something that keeps on happening. And so I want to take a little bit of responsibility here. So we're all going to talk about it. The weird way that EUC companies and influencers promote the wheels outside of their intended use case and how it ends up creating these false expectations for riders. You know, like when a new rider sees these videos and they think, oh, that's what this wheel can do. And then they go and try it at home. And what happens? They break their wheel. And suddenly distributors are dealing with warranty claims. Manufacturers are dealing with angry customers. And the rider is ultimately left with a broken machine that might not even be covered in doing these things that they have seen influencers and the company themselves advertise. Let that settle. This is where I start to feel responsibility. And this is where I feel like our responsibility comes in. As influencers and as manufacturers, I'm not a manufacturer, but you know, if we're going to show these wheels being used outside of their design and intended use case, we need to put a big old asterisk on it. We need to make it clear, if you use the wheel this way, you're probably going to ruin it, destroy it, okay? And it looks cool. It really does. I mean, you see people doing all of these outlandish things on the wheels, myself included. I've got some video of me doing some outlandish stuff on a wheel. That is 100% a no-no. So we're going to get into it because really and truly, we need to take a step back in terms of how these wheels are being presented. The coolest presentation is not always the longest one. In fact, it's not going to be the most long-lived one. That's just point blank period. But in order to help elucidate the point that I'm making, we are going to bring up a bunch of examples. Nobody's innocent. Everybody's got their hands dirty in this. So a couple of years back, InMotion actually released the V12 High Torque. This was a super duper cool wheel, guys. It was the torquey version of the V12 High Speed, and it was able to, I feel like it was kind of a responsive thing to the RS series of wheels. You know, they had the High Speed RS and then they had the High Torque RS, and so that's what I feel like it was kind of doing. It was kind of a competition for that. But they showcased the wheel as a trail wheel that was great for jumping. We got to see Kelly Chameleon and we got to see Mike Leahy, you know, Shibby Time. We got to see him jumping, sending the wheel. And the thing is, this axle, it wasn't a hollow axle. It was a very skinny axle and it was fragile. And the motor itself and the pedal hangers, they actually mounted to this inside kind of PVC skeleton, this plastic skeleton inside of the V12 High Torque. So this was not at all designed for the same kind of stress that comes from repeated jumps. But people took it off-road, they tried to mimic the marketing, and they ended up snapping axles and destroying the inside of the shells. You know, you ended up with this loose kind of plastic shell on the inside, and your motor was kind of moving around, and eventually it was something that you would have to replace if you used it and in the use case that it was demonstrated in the marketing materials, in the promotional materials. So in that instance, it wasn't just like a manufacturer or just an influencer that was causing the issue. It was kind of a collective thing, and it's not that it was trying to cause an issue. It's not that we were trying to beef or cause problems. It's just you want the wheel to look cool. You want to present it in the coolest light possible. But I do think that needs to come with a disclaimer so that way people are not disappointed on the back end. Now, I forget who came first, if it was the A2 or the Patton, but I do remember very distinctly the Leaperkin Patton video that Electric Dreams produced. Where Jack, Electric Dreams, is the dude who is Mr. NOSFED. He brought us the Apex and the Arrow, or at least he's like the face of the company. So in this durability test that he did for the Patton, he took the veteran Patton and he rode it straight into a wall. Like he would ride another wheel and like had the Patton balanced to the side. So he's like two wheels and then just slam into the wall over and over again. Just boom, 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 showcasing its durability. Not a single piece came off of that wheel. There was nothing that broke off of the external parts of that wheel. The handles did their job perfectly. The bumpers, I mean, it was just amazing. That shell, the casing, it didn't shake loose at all. It looked absolutely phenomenal. I was blown away. I was like, how is this even a thing? How is it possible that you have a wheel that you can literally ride into a brick wall? I was baffled. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, this wheel can handle anything. But the truth was, over time, and it wasn't a long time, my Patton just started cutting out for no reason. I had gotten up to, I kid you not, guys, 5 cutouts, just random, for no reason, not going over anything, just out of nowhere, just boom. It was crazy. And it was so disheartening because I felt alone on an island. Like I was the only person experiencing issues, and all of the issues that I were experiencing was because I didn't know what I was doing, or I was a fool, or whatever it was. So, you know, I left it alone for a while until I could reach out to Jason at eWheels with a little bit of money in hand, and Jason actually tried to help me out without any money. He was like, oh, it's cutting out on you, it's cutting out on you. So we went through all of the issues, and so I opened up the Patton, and the motherboard came out in pieces. It just rained out of the damn case. Let that settle, guys. The motherboard came out in pieces, like somebody knocked the teeth out of this thing, just fell out like a mouth just pummeled. It was the most crazy thing. And in my mind, I was like, oh my God, this is a wheel that I had just literally rode at 40 miles an hour, and it could have just for no reason cut out. And that was my fault for running it that way over and over, even though I knew that I was having some of these cutout issues. I didn't know what it was coming from, so I didn't think anything of it. And I was like, okay, whatever, we'll just, hope that I don't hit a bump, whatever it is. Guys, that was so dangerous. But that's not the only one. That's not it. But wait, there's more. Moving on down the line, we've got the Begode A2. Now, when this thing was first released, they were talking about some special sort of amphibious waterproofing, crazy waterproofing technologies on it. And so the way that they wanted to prove this, that they had literally locked in the most epic waterproofing, here's what they did. They threw an A2 in the water, in a body of water, and then rode it out. I'm pretty sure we saw even multiple videos of it going into the ocean and then back out. Guys, I can't believe I even thought that this was accurate. When I saw the wheel, I was like, okay, so this wheel is designed for if you go out to the beach or if you go out to a lake and you want to ride your wheel in the water, this is what you get to do. I thought that was the designed use case. Am I an idiot for that? I feel like in retrospect, like I'm an idiot for that. But the fact is that it looked like this was the promotional scheme of it because there were so many videos. So it's like, of course it's an amphibious wheel. That's literally what I thought. In retrospect, you're like, it's got a motor, it's got batteries, it's got a motherboard, it's electric. Electric and water do not mix. And that's literally what you get into your head. You're like, oh, okay, so this is actually foolish after you see what it is. But so many people ruined their A2s. So many people ended up with dead A2s and cutting out and battery issues and rusting issues. And guys, it was non-stop issues. These wheels they were not meant for water. Even if they show you that it's waterproof that way, it is not meant for it. And that's where I mean, like, hey, we need to have disclaimers at the bottom of these promotions, just so that way people know and they don't ruin their investments. I mean, I'm guilty of it as well. You know, I did a music video, the InMotion, the InMotion music video that I did. I was riding the V12 High Torque through the ocean. I rode it through the beach. And it's like, it looks cool. This is a dope promotional situation. And granted, this was a music video, so I felt like it was more about the visuals than it was about the use case. I felt like it was about creating visual poetry. And so that was kind of my excuse for doing that. I knew that the salt water wasn't great for the wheel. I knew that it was going to be a problem, but when I did that, I ended up rusting out my wheels, and it didn't work out. I rusted out the bearings. I ruined the motor. It's just, guys, you've got to keep a little bit of common sense. You got to keep your common sense at the front of your brain with this stuff. But at the same time, when you see these wheels being shown casually doing stuff, you're like, okay, well, I can do that too. And you're not wrong. You should be able to demonstrate that stuff. Car manufacturers, whenever they put out videos, or motorcycle manufacturers, whenever they put out videos, you get them saying, hey, like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, you know? And I feel like we need to have that same sort of echoing over here in the EUC space. So this is all coming to a head because of Psycho. I mean, I absolutely love Psycho, and if you don't follow him on Instagram, then follow him. I love his work. I'm a huge fan. He puts out some of the coolest EUC content on the internet. But even he had a cutout on his Oryx. And honestly, it makes sense. You know, a wheel that weighs over 100 pounds, you know, like jumping over and over and over again at the skate park, you're fighting with physics, man. It's like a hammer dropping on itself. Like, the whole of the wheel is experiencing the down force of the landing every single time that you drop that thing on the ground. It is not made for that. It is a long-range, high-speed cruiser. It is not a jumpy McJumperson. The suspension even seems designed with this in mind, guys. So it's like taking the wheel outside of its use case, you're never gonna win. So the point is this, guys. These wheels, they're not indestructible, okay? They're machines with limits. And when marketing or influencers present them as something more, it sets riders up for failure. So here's my message. Riders, consumers, friends, community, always ask yourself, was this wheel actually designed for what it is that I'm seeing? Use your own common sense here. Look at the specs. The axle, is it a hollow motor axle? The shell strength. Is it made with any bumpers or just a hard frame, a skeleton on the outside? Look at the waterproofing, MOSFET count. That's where your truth is, okay? And as creators, as companies, guys, let's be clear. If you push a wheel outside of its use case, put a disclaimer. Add that asterisk. It's worth it, guys. Because otherwise, people are going to break their investments, and it's not going to be the influencer or the manufacturer who pays for it. It's going to be the rider. And that's just not fair, guys. You know, they're coming into this blind. They don't know no better. Most of them really don't. These wheels don't seem like they should exist to begin with. It doesn't seem like it should work to begin with, so everything impossible seems attainable out the gate. Have more decency, more responsibility, you know? Anyway, guys, that's my rant for today. Hope that you all have a fabulous Monday, and I look forward to seeing you the rest of the week. Got a lot of content coming, and if you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help move the things forward. Comment down below what you think. Are we doing too much as influencers and manufacturers? Should there be disclaimers, or should people just use more common sense?